everybody to the Mental Health Hour, and welcome into episode 114.
Mm.
This week we're doing our annual holiday depression episode. It's pertinent this time of the year just to keep it in the forefront of our minds.
Mhm.
That mental health does kind of take a beating in the holiday season for a lot of folks, whether it be uh, an unpleasant anniversary, maybe the death of a loved one, or financial burdens, because it does get quite expensive this time of the year.
Oh
Um,
god, yeah.
and the list goes on. There's a couple different things that we can talk about and get into detail with. But this
Mhm.
will be our third time covering this. It's one of our most requested, I guess. Would you say, Gemma?
Yeah, definitely. We've had it I think we've had 3 alone for this year.
Yeah. So tonight we've got some slides as always to go over. Just some information, talking points, and stuff like that. But first, I thought we might try this video out just to kind of refresh what it is that we're talking about. So the video is about 6 minutes. I'm going to let that run, kind of, uh, reintegrate ourselves with the topic of holiday blues or holiday depression. And then after that's finished, we'll come back, we'll go over some slides. So for now, let's take a look at the video.
The most wonderful time of the year. Well, except for when it's not. From Thanksgiving in North America through to Christmas and New Year's, it's almost impossible to avoid it all, regardless of whether you celebrate these occasions or not. You only have to pop into the supermarket these days and you will be bombarded with Christmas carols and decorations, along with more Christmas-related merchandise than you can shake a candy cane at. Actually, most of that stuff has been in the stores since about August, so anyway. The thing is that the holiday season can be joyful or it can be stressful, and all too often it can be a combination of both of those mixed in with a massive sense of obligation and exhaustion as we try to get through everything. Regardless of whether or not you have time off over the coming months, it's a difficult time for a variety of reasons, such as difficult family relationships, the loss of a loved one, being disconnected from family or friends, or not being able to spend time with loved ones, relationship issues, not having the money to do the things that you want. There are so many different hurdles at this time of year that it can be overwhelming and exhausting for many of us. If you're not having a great time at this supposedly joyful time of year, you're not alone. But dealing with the holidays doesn't mean that you need to limp your way to the finish line on New Year's Eve. It is entirely possible to get through the holiday season in one piece with your mental health and well-being firmly intact. It just takes a little bit of work and effort, and that's what I'm covering today, starting with set your own pace. You do you, boo-boo, and if that means you want to take it slow or minimize the amount of stuff you commit to at this time of year, then good on you. And don't be pressured by FOMO or worrying about keeping up with what everyone else is doing. Do what feels right to you. Do you know what I'm going to be doing on New Year's Eve? Going to bed at the exact same time that I do every other night. I certainly will not be staying up to watch people setting off explosions while saying, ooh, ah. Although I must admit I do love fireworks, but whatever. And so that leads to my next point. Try not to overindulge. Between too much food and alcohol and not enough rest, it can be all too easy to come out the other side of this year looking like a before photo in a cosmetic surgery ad. And that can do a lot of damage to your mental health and well-being in the longer term. Stick to your regular routine as much as possible, get plenty of rest, and it's fine to treat yourself, but all things in moderation. If you do overindulge, forgive yourself and get back on track as quickly as possible to avoid it spiraling out of control. Okay, next, be wise about your spending. This is about making smart choices because at this time of year, we are bombarded with advertising and not so subtle marketing to convince us to part with our cash. But why? so that we can buy a whole bunch of crap for one another that will eventually just wind up in landfill, so that we can put ourselves further and further into debt. How does no sound? Don't just buy stuff just for the sake of buying stuff or because it's got a fancy logo on it. I used to spend so much money on clothing and sunglasses and everything, and I wouldn't wear prescription glasses unless they were Prada. Then when I went through my financial problems in the 2010s after having a breakdown, I discovered that it really made no difference whether or not I purchased generic or label. The world didn't stop turning and nobody actually cared. Anybody who is going to criticize you for wearing generic brands isn't worth your time and attention. Prioritize your well-being over all other factors. So, next, if you're traveling, plan ahead. Because do you know who else tends to be traveling at this time of year? Practically every other person in the entire world. Bearing that in mind, create a plan and give yourself plenty of time to get to your destination and make things as easy and pleasant as possible for yourself. I'm one of those annoying people who turns up to the airport more than 3 hours early for an international flight. Yes, I'm usually the first in line when the check-in desk opens, and I'm not saying that you have to go to that extreme, but at least allow yourself plenty of time. My philosophy on travel is that I'd rather have to spend an hour or two sitting at a cafe with a book or whatever than running to catch my flight, mainly because I don't run. But because I live with anxiety, that has been a massive part of giving myself time and space to reduce the stress associated with travel. So next, if you need to take a break, take a break. And that means either a small break or even just taking the whole holiday season off. You are under zero obligation to do anything you don't want to. So, if you want to cancel everything and spend the holidays sitting around in your underwear, then you do you. It's okay to prioritize your own needs. Just do so with kindness. In other words, briefly clarify why you've decided to do what it is that you've chosen to do, but without feeling the need to justify yourself, because you don't owe anybody an explanation. It's okay to say no to things. You have the choice to do as much or as little as you would like. And that goes doubly as much for dealing with family over this period of time. You get to choose how much you will or will not participate. Be alone if you want to be. Don't be alone if you don't want to be. Again, it's your choice. And if you happen to have a dysfunctional family, then I'll be sharing some year-round tips on how to deal with that in next week's episode. So subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode. And I have a final thought about surviving the holidays, which is be considerate. Look, everyone deals with the holiday season in their own way. And besides that, not everyone actually celebrates events like Christmas. There are many different spiritual and religious beliefs, and diversity should be respected because every single one of us is a unique individual. Other people's choices are their choices, just like your choices are your own. And so if it's not harming anyone, then you do what you do and let people do what they do. Whatever you choose to do is up to you. Remember, better mental health begins with what you choose to do today.
All right. So that was just a quick little video, kind of reacclimating ourselves to the topic of holiday depression or holiday blues. And then, of course, some tips and tricks to manage or cope during these times. So let's let that kind of launch us into some slides. Well, first, Gemma, did you have anything to add about the video or before we do?
No, not really. I just put something in the comments about when he was mentioning about the shops and things, and I think a lot of that adds to the depression is the fact that Christmas is so commercialized now, as with every holiday season. It's so commercialized and puts pressure on everyone to think that you have to have all this stuff and you have to buy all these things, and that isn't the true meaning of it.
Right.
And I think people need to remember that you don't have to have and spend hundreds of dollars, pounds on things, as long as you do be with your family, be with your loved ones, be wherever you want to be and whatever makes you happy. And if you don't want to do anything and you just want to stay in bed or whatever, then whatever makes you happy. Don't be pressured by all the commercialized stuff. That's just
Well, and
something that can.
keep it in the forefront of your mind when you feel like
Mhm.
maybe you're staying in bed a bit too much. Wouldn't you
Oh
say?
yeah,
Or
don't do that.
I don't know if you wanted to clarify or um, add on to
Mhm.
that, but I would be mindful of how much time you are spending in bed versus feeling like getting out there
Yeah,
into the world. Tony
yeah,
D
because
checking in. Good to see you, buddy.
that's a symptom of depression anyway. Is just staying in bed and things. And I know in the winter months and the price of gas these days, I want to just stay in bed and not switch the heating on because I'll be getting a £500 bill anyway. But yeah, don't do it in excessive.
Yes,
Like,
speaking of
mm,
which, that's another thing to well, we mentioned the financial burden of this time of the year, but
mhm,
and not just holiday shopping or holiday related things. This time of the year in general, uh, your electric or gas bills are generally going to be higher when you start running the heat. Um, I know I just paid our gas bill and it was up. Let's see, it's usually it was probably up almost 3 times what it is in the summertime. So
mhm.
that's just from running the heater, trying to keep everything a normal temperature in here because our house is pretty well insulated, but right around this time of the year and then throughout the rest of winter,
Mhm.
it will dip. We could go to bed at 68 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm sorry, I don't know how that translates to Celsius, but 68 degrees Fahrenheit here, and it's nothing to wake up in the morning if we don't run the heat, and it'd be like 61 and just frigid in here. So
Mm.
we generally run the heat for the most part nonstop. I mean, it cuts off when it achieves that temperature, but
Oh yeah.
it stays. We keep it on auto, obviously. So
Mhm.
that doesn't have anything to do with holiday shopping or holiday finances. That's just a time of the year financial thing. So taking that into account, we have the stress of the holidays, and then we have also the real world uh, to balance into that equation as well.
Oh yeah. And there we go. Thanks, Ray. 68 Fahrenheit is 20 Celsius. There we go.
Thank, thank you, Ray. 20 Celsius
I
for
don't
our
know if
overseas.
you have. Oh, sorry. I don't know if you have that in America, but we don't even have to turn it on to be charged. We have a standing charge. Sorry.
So you
So
you guys use Celsius, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So 20 degrees Celsius, would you say that's pretty moderate, mild inside the house?
Yeah, yeah. My house currently, well, in this room is 16 Celsius. But
16?
I've just had the heating turned on because I'm frozen. I had to suck it up and turn it on.
Yeah.
But yeah, like normally, if I'm on my own, I can see my breath and I won't turn it on. I'll just put loads of layers on
Yeah.
because now everything with the cost of living crisis is just ridiculous. And that's not
Yeah.
helping with the holiday depression because, as they say, the cost of everything has gone up so much: food, gas, electric, everything. And we don't even have to turn the gas and electric on to be charged for it. The standing charge is a charge that you pay every single
Yeah.
day
You get like an
just
estimate.
for the privilege of having it. And it's quite high. My
Our electric
bill
our
3
electric
times what it used to be last year.
our electric company will do what's called the actual and the estimate. and it like flip flops every other month. You'll get the actual or you'll get the estimate, and it's just like, okay, you're just estimating this way high for no reason.
Oh yeah, they will.
But that's just something good to mention. I'm glad you had brought that up because not only, like I said, not only are we dealing with the hustle, the bustle, the stress of the holiday season, whichever holiday you and yours celebrate, it's all this time of the year, and there's a lot to be done. There's a lot of money flowing, but also there's a lot going on in the real world just the same. That tacks on to that. So just something to keep in mind. Let's run through some slides and we'll get some conversation going that way as well. Go ahead and start with the first one here.
So hectic holiday, battling holiday depression. Start again. Battling holiday depression and stress. So holiday-related stress and depression can cause headaches, excessive alcohol consumption, or other substances, overeating, and insomnia. I think overeating just comes with the holiday in general. But anyway, it says to combat these side effects, it's best to identify the cause of your stress and then to take the steps to rectify them. Consider the following suggestions. So, number one, do not feel as though you must meet all of your family obligations. It's best to be realistic about them. Expecting too much and putting unnecessary expectations out there, you're only gonna set yourself up for a fail, and that in itself can cause even more depression. So go easy on yourself. Don't set unrealistic expectations of yourself. So number two, ask others for assistance in hosting gatherings, purchasing presents, etc. I think one thing that I've certainly learned over the years is that if you buy loads of presents, anyone that's got kids will know that they want everything. Everything they see is brilliant, and they can give you a reason why it's the best thing ever and they want it. But when you look at it and they're just ripping through all the presents and stuff, how many of those things are they actually really, truly paying attention to? And do they really need it? If they're getting so much that it becomes overwhelming and they don't know what to do with it all, and not only that, you're setting yourself up for a heck of a future as well, because they're just going to expect it. So rather than buying loads and loads of things, maybe put together and put a few things for them, and they will appreciate it much more than getting massive piles of stuff. Number three, make a list of priorities in chronological order so that you don't become too overwhelmed. And maybe this list you can get other people to help you as well. Delegate some of it. Share the load.
Yes,
Number
absolutely.
4, consider volunteering to help others, especially if you are feeling lonely. And when, like, with things like that, if you are potentially on your own, you could volunteer to help others, or like come together with friends and things, maybe, so that you can have a Christmas or a holiday where you are together and sharing the workload, sharing the cost of it all, and that way you're all surrounded by people, by friends, by loved ones, sharing the load, sharing the burden, sharing the cost. Number 5, stay active and continue to exercise and eat healthy. Very difficult to do during the holiday because
Especially this
there's
time of the year,
so much
yeah.
food.
There's food
Um,
and sweets and everything.
oh yeah, an elastic waistband is always good around the
Yeah.
holiday time. But honestly, I think some people just eat so much that they feel like they're gonna burst and then want to just sleep for the rest of the day. I think that's just,
Yeah. Especially
you
on
know,
Thanksgiving.
And then number 6, don't overspend. Keep tabs on your holiday budget and stick to it. One thing I like to do is every month I put money away in a container. So when I get paid, any extra that I've got in my purse, I will put in this container and save it up so that I'm not feeling the cost of Christmas all in 1 month.
Yeah.
And it allows me to save up, and then I can write down what I need to get for people, what I need to get. You can get the store saving cards as well, where you can put like a few pounds, dollars on this card every time, and that way it saves up for Christmas, for holidays, for whatever you want. And again, it's spreading the cost over the year rather than again all at once,
We do a
and
very
allows you
similar
to
thing.
budget. Yeah. Because I think, especially when you've got this list of all this stuff that you need to buy and all these people you need to buy for, it can be really, really overwhelming. Um, and it's quite difficult. There's times where I've gone and bought things in like the January sales, but make sure you don't do what I do and put them somewhere safe
Mhm.
that then you can't find at
Yeah,
Christmas.
a little too safe.
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've done that. I've just found a load of cards and things that I bought 2 year ago because they were in such a safe place that I couldn't find them.
yeah.
Um,
We keep
but yeah.
like a separate bank account, um,
Mhm.
just for what you were talking about. Some
Yeah.
overflow or any extra that you might have laying around, and just let that grow
Oh,
throughout the
you can
year.
do that. There's those, I don't know, Monzo cards. Have you seen those?
I don't know
I
what that
think
is.
they're maybe not. It's just like an app banking. There was one that I've seen, and it was an American one. Let me see if I can find it real quick. And you can just put Chase. There we go, Chase Bank.
Chase.
Uh, yeah, and you can get this card where you can just top up a little bit every month, and it's
Mhm.
like a proper debit card,
Right.
but it's controlled by the app, and you can just add a little bit on, and that way you're not restricted as to where you can spend it like you are with a gift card. And it
Absolutely.
allows
So
you to set
it's a
goals, and sometimes they're higher interest than a standard bank card.
it's a tremendous thing to do to help with the financial side of the holidays. Um, Setting a budget and not exceeding the budget is step one. But more importantly, I think actually is like Gemma was just talking about, socking away any little bit of extra over the course of the first 11 months. So when you hit
Mhm,
that December, it's not such a shock at all. You've essentially saved throughout the year just for this. Some people do
mhm,
it for vacations, other for the holidays, but throwing away some of that extra money rather than impulse buying candy or
mhm.
whatever at the store really does help make a difference in the financial burden of the holiday season. Let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. What are the holiday blues?
Yeah, so in a survey on the holiday blues, 64% say they are affected, and 24% say the holidays affect them a lot. So, what are they? The holiday blues are temporary feelings of anxiety and depression during the holidays that can be associated with extra stress, unrealistic expectations, or even memories that accompany the season. This might include things like fatigue, tension, frustration, loneliness or isolation, sadness, or a sense of loss. The difference between the holiday blues and clinical anxiety or depression is that feelings are temporary. However, short term problems must still be taken seriously because they can lead to longer term mental health conditions.
And the second half of that slide.
Yeah, so tips for avoiding the holiday blues. So stick to normal routines as much as possible. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. Take the time for yourself, but don't isolate yourself. Spend time with supportive and caring people. Eat and drink in moderation. Don't drink alcohol if you are feeling down. That definitely doesn't help. It's a depressive as alcohol.
It very much
Get
so is.
exercise. Oh, yeah. Get exercise, even if it's only taking a short walk. Make a to-do list and keep things simple. Don't set unrealistic expectations, for example. In the next one, set reasonable expectations and goals for holiday activities, such as shopping, cooking, entertaining, attending parties, or sending holiday cards. So, like I said when we were talking about the previous slide, don't set unrealistic expectations that you're setting yourself up for a fail, because that will also cause further depression. And then set a budget for holiday activities. Don't overextend yourself financially in buying presents. And listen to music or find other ways to relax.
Just some tips for trying to avoid. I don't like the word avoid, avoiding the holiday blues. I like coping with or managing, saying that better,
Yeah.
because avoiding it sounds like you're just never going to address it or put it aside, sweep it under the rug, and it'll go away. And that very rarely works out
Oh,
in
yeah.
anybody's favor. It usually just results in you bottling things up until you explode. So I don't like the word avoiding, but we can look at it as tips for managing or coping with the holiday blues.
Well, yeah, avoiding as well. I feel like if you're saying avoiding holiday blues and you're doing all of that and you're still feeling holiday blues, then you're making it sound like that they failed in doing that. Whereas in reality, you're trying to minimize the effect of them rather than avoiding them. Because even if you're doing all that and you're minimizing the holiday blues, that is still a win.
Yeah.
So just doing what you can to minimize the effects
Yeah.
of them,
A-
and
And
hopefully.
and everybody's going to have one thing or another that is kind of considered maybe a trigger or whatnot during this time of the year. It's completely normal. We all have our stories. We all have something that's happened that might be unfortunate at this time of the year, and it's not like we said. It's not avoiding the feelings. It's just coping or managing life with life as it is. Um, okay, let's keep rolling. We'll go on to this one here.
Okay, so tips for managing holiday stress. Here are a few tips to head off the hectic holiday feeling and help you enjoy the season. Balance that long to-do list with these self-care techniques to reduce stress and increase your sense of joy. So don't overschedule. Choose your activities purposefully and honor your limits. If you're overwhelmed by your holiday agenda, consider skipping an activity or two. Remember, it's okay to take time out. Exercise. Exercise can boost your mood, improve your sleep, and help you deal with depression, anxiety, and ADHD. People who exercise feel more energetic throughout the day, sleep better at night, and have sharper memories, and feel more relaxed and positive about themselves and their lives. Limit alcohol consumption. So don't attempt to drink away the stress or unpleasant emotions, especially if you're on medication that shouldn't be mixed with alcohol. If alcohol is being served at a gathering, remember that you are in control and it's okay to leave if the desire to drink becomes too overwhelming. So don't put yourself in that situation, remove yourself. Enjoy nature, spending time outdoors or bringing nature into your everyday life can benefit both your mental and physical well-being. The sun gives us the best source of vitamin D, and getting enough of this hormone is essential to maintaining a healthy immune system. Not much, we don't get much of that in the UK. But anyway, let me get the next slide up. Is that one? There we go. And then we have listen to your favorite music. Research from the University of Maryland shows that hearing music you love can relax blood vessels and increase blood flow. That not only calms you down, but is good for your heart too. Keep up healthy habits. Be sure to include healthy options for snacks and meals throughout the season, and step up your exercise routine to burn those extra calories. This year, in addition to keeping an eye on holiday eating, it's important to practice social distancing, wear a mask, wash your hands regularly. That maybe isn't as applicable now with the restrictions and things, but anyway, love on an animal. Pets, especially dogs and cats, can reduce stress, anxiety, and depression, ease loneliness, encourage exercise and playfulness, and improve your cardiovascular health. One thing they don't do is improve your stress when the cat knocks the bloody tree over. That or takes a dump under it as well.
Yes,
Those
of
are
course.
things that bad. Just yeah,
Of course.
but generally they do. Okay, and then don't compare your holiday with others. Oh, social media for things like
Yes,
that.
that is a big one.
Oh, don't compare with others. Social media allows you to see what all of your friends are doing during the holidays. Making comparisons can leave you feeling let down. Remember that everyone's holiday traditions are different and that photos typically only represent the happy moments. So, yeah, they're not going to be posting all the stuff that didn't go right, didn't go well. And, everybody's different. And even people that have posted these elaborate photos, been on massive holidays and stuff,
Yeah,
you don't know that they aren't going to come back riddled in debt and not be able to afford it and stuff. You're only
yeah.
seeing what they want you to
You're
see.
seeing the good.
Yeah. They're not going to put all the negative
You're
crap
not getting
on.
the full picture.
Oh, yeah. And then last but not least on this one, attend your sessions. The holidays don't always feel like the most wonderful time of the year for everyone. With professional help, your therapist can guide you in your journey towards healing so you can begin to find moments of comfort and joy. And if you don't have a therapist and you need to get that extra support during the holiday times, don't be afraid to do so.
Very good. That don't compare your holiday with others is humongous as far
Yeah.
as these things tend to go, because when we're already feeling down on ourselves, um, social media in general shows only the good, like Gemma was touching on. You're not going to see the full story, but you're going to see everybody's joy and good tidings and a good happy life, um, when you're just struggling to get out of bed. Um,
Mhm.
I've been down that road, and it's why I don't have Facebook anymore. Um, but when I went through my divorce and um, everything kind of all hit at once, and all I was seeing was everybody else's life progressing on this normal train that I thought mine would be as well. But mine derailed. So I was already beside myself, and that kind of stuff, doom scrolling as it's known,
Oh,
it
yeah.
just doesn't help anything. So please, um, don't compare your holidays to anybody else's. That's paramount.
Mhm.
Um, let's see. Yeah, we can go ahead and touch on the symptoms of holiday depression. Talk about some of these.
Yeah, so the symptoms of holiday depression include things like low mood, stress, fatigue, lack of energy, demotivation, sleep problems, appetite disturbances, hopelessness, guilt, disinterest, absent-mindedness, and grief.
Indeed.
Mhm.
So stress and excuse me, guys. I'm sorry about all the coughing. I've had a bit of a frog in my throat for the past couple of days. Um, but all of these symptoms are symptoms that you're going to see in most cases of depression,
Mhm.
not just holiday depression. But if it, what you want to be looking at is this time of the year, these things ramping up versus in July or June. Wouldn't you say, Gemma?
Yeah, definitely. I
Um,
mean, I suffer with depression, like, all the time, but certainly at this time of year, it I definitely notice that, things are a little more intense in that department,
sure,
and,
sure.
yeah, I think with the weather as well, because the weather helps. Good weather. I mean, us in the UK aren't used to, brilliant weather anyway, but certainly
Yeah,
a lot to be said for getting up. Well, like with the
that
darker in
is
the
that the
morning,
truth.
darker in the night, less sunlight and things, that can affect your mood if you're getting up to go to work or whatever and it's dark and then you're coming home in the dark, that will affect you as well, like we spoke about, with the seasonal depression and things. It's, lots of different things that tie in to, make this holiday depression as it is.
Hmm. Yep. So the reason that we bring these up, as we were just discussing, like we were talking about, these are fairly general symptoms of depression, uh, year round depression, just clinical depression. When you'll find these symptoms to run parallel with that. It's when you take these and they mount up at this time of the year versus in May, June, July. Um, that's when you know you've got a bout of holiday depression on your hands. Um, Certainly, as we discussed last week, change seasonal affective disorder was a couple weeks ago.
Mhm,
Um, but checking in with yourself last week, all of those add up and come together um, at this time of the year. So, um, Alien Charmers is saying, I agree with you about the weather. People seem to be sunnier when it's sunnier. And that's
mhm.
absolutely true. Um, the weather plays a big role. If it's gray and dreary outside and raining or sleeting or gross,
Oh, yeah.
you're going to generally feel the same way. Versus if it's nice and sunny and, you're going to want to go outside and do some things. Um,
Mhm,
so, anyway, take a look at these symptoms on your own if you'd like. Um, do a self check in, see if any of these are hitting home, and maybe make some changes or um, lateral processing to make it a little bit better for you this time of the year.
mhm.
All right. Last slide of the day. This one might be a little hard for everybody to see, but it wasn't a good one that I could cut in half. So if you would like to see this in its entirety, head over to the Discord. I'll have them posted for you at the end of the show. But Gemma,
Yeah.
you can take it away.
Yeah, okay, so holiday stress and prevention. So nearly a quarter of Americans report feeling extreme stress during the holidays. While stress and anxiety increase due to high demands and expectations, feelings of loneliness tend to peak during holiday months as well. So, how your body reacts to the stress. So, the nervous system, the fight or flight reaction causes the release of adrenaline and cortisol, the stress hormones. This causes increased heart rate, blood pressure, and glucose level. I feel like there's going to be a word on this slide that I'm going to stumble on, and Tim's done it on purpose. Anyway, cardiovascular. Acute stress causes increased heart rate and stronger contractions of the heart muscle. Continuous acute stress could lead to inflammation of the heart, the arteries, and or heart attacks. And then oh my goodness, musculoskeletal. Why can't I say that word? You did it to me again. Yeah, and I should be able to say it. Musculoskeletal.
Musculoskeletal.
I did say it then. Okay. Muscles tense up and contract quicker and faster, which can lead to body aches, tension headaches, migraines, and chronic muscle pain.
Yeah, so musculoskeletal is dealing with the bones and the muscles aching, is what it's getting at there.
Yeah. It just, my mouth wasn't going to have any of it. And there's always one word that I seem to struggle on, it would appear. Tips to prevent holiday stress and depression. So make a plan, stick to some of your normal routines for a regular day, schedule specific days for specific to-dos. Learn to say no. There's absolutely no shame in saying no. Don't take on more than you can take, and make sure you're doing for yourself too. The thing that I mentioned it in the comments just a minute ago, people that are takers generally don't have boundaries and will take and take and take as long as you're willing to give. So know your own boundaries and say no. Set aside family or friend differences. Acknowledge your feelings. It's okay to feel sad. And then take a breather. And then it says, holiday months can cause abnormally high stress and anxiety and an increase in depressive symptoms and substance use. Please be mindful of these symptoms over the course of the holiday months and reach out. It specifies a service there, but you can reach out to friends, family, therapists, anyone.
In this instance, just refer to the helplines that Naomi has posted throughout the chat. And they are also available on our Discord. So take a look at those. And if you need further information or you want to just talk to somebody, we're always available there as well. So please, if you're not a part of the Discord yet, go ahead and join. The link is in chat that you can come on in and join our Discord community. Good pertinent announcements about the show throughout there, and just a great community of people. We're lucky we have a very good community growing in there. That's it for the slides. We hope that this again shed some light on. Gemma, could you wrap it up for us for a minute? I think she's caught up.
So yeah, many of you will know Melanie Fay from the community. She's been in our broadcasts often, and many of the other broadcasts. She broadcasted herself quite a lot, doing poetry and things. She was rushed into the hospital the other day and is fighting very hard. She's very, very, very unwell, has some sepsis going on now, something wrong with their kidneys, struggling to breathe and everything else. She's had 2 blood transfusions and they are at the moment not working, and they're talking about palliative care. So I'm going down tomorrow to be with her. I've known her for a long time. She's been like a mom to me for many years. And I'll always be grateful that I got to spend my 40th with her. she gave me her mum's ring for my birthday, said that I was like the daughter that she never had. And it's not left my finger since the day she gave me it. So we're all rooting for her, praying for her. Whatever we do, just keep her in our thoughts, and I will update as and when I can. But I'm going down tomorrow. But she is very much a loved member of the community, a good friend. And yeah, if we can just keep her in our thoughts and hope for a full and speedy recovery for her. And obviously keeping Bill, her husband, in our thoughts, because obviously we know that caregiving can really take its toll on them as well. We've discussed caregivers a lot on the show and the consequences that can have. So we're all with you, Bill and Melanie, sending lots of love and prayers and hopefully for a speedy recovery.
Absolutely. Thank you, Gemma, for the update on our dear friend, Mum. It's these types of things that kind of bring this episode to light each year. Um, the death of a loved one or um, something along those lines will always resonate, I feel like, harder because of the time of year being so joyous and celebrated. To lose somebody around this time of the year, just I feel like it kind of sits harder. Would you agree?
Yeah, very much, especially when it's seen as, I think, the norm to be happy and cheery and everything's busy and just people getting on with their lives. And I don't know, I've always struggled around Christmas time anyway, for various reasons. But yeah, it's always that when you lose someone, the first birthday, first anniversary, first Christmas, but to actually lose someone around the time
Mm-hmm.
of something that's supposed to be seen as a joyous occasion.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just that bit harder.
it's very true. Um,
You
so,
realise when you sat at the table with your families and there's an empty seat or something, it
oh
just
yeah, oh yeah.
gets you a bit.
I lost my dad on November 22nd, 6 years ago. Whenever 2017 was, 6 years ago, and that was the week of Thanksgiving. So there's always that empty chair at Thanksgiving table that we leave for Dad, and it certainly is a bit harder when it falls on such a what's normally a joyous occasion. Um, so please keep Melanie's family, her husband Bill, and everybody in your thoughts and prayers, hoping for, as Gemma said, a speedy recovery. And with that being said, um, we'll keep everybody up to date as we hear things. Gemma has been posting several updates on Twitter and what have you. I'm sure you wouldn't mind anybody DMing you more privately, so
Yeah,
as not to put her thing out there on blast. But yeah,
yeah, I've
message.
turned
Is
Twitter
that
back
fine with you,
on.
Gemma?
Yeah, I've turned Twitter messages back on, so it's the same name here as it is on Twitter, and there's my bio link. You can message me. If anyone wants to send any like poem or verse or a little something to Melanie, people have been messaging me things to print out. I'm going to print them all out and put them in a card and take it for her tomorrow. So obviously I need that within the next couple of hours ideally, but
Excellent.
if you want to drop me a message, I'll print them out and take them tomorrow.
Right on. So, good evening to Ray of Sunshine and Mr. Med and everybody else trickling in. Good to see you guys coming in. And Ray, thank you for the 23 months. That's incredible. So
I can't believe
grateful.
we've been 2 years.
Yeah, so grateful and happy to be able to continue to put this show on for you all. And I hope that we're doing everything to your liking. If not, please feel free to join the Discord and tell us what you want to see. Um, everything from episode requests to just a general way we could run the show better. Um, you can
Mhm.
join our community there and drop us a line. Oh, excuse me.
There's a
Um,
contact form on the website and in the bio link as well. If you don't have Discord and are reluctant to use it or whatever, you can do that as well.
yes, the bio link being bio.link/TMHH, and then the website is tmhhonline.com.
Mhm.
So find everything that you need at those places. Find all of our socials. Join whatever you please and share us out. Help us grow. We've come such a long way. Um, I know that the live recordings, like right now, don't always get the greatest of numbers or
Mhm.
eyeballs, but looking at the numbers throughout the replays on YouTube and listens on all the major podcasting networks, there's quite a few. It's a lot better, it seems, on the replay.
But yeah, that this is the third one we've done on holiday depression, and it's still as important now as the very first one we did. So definitely don't feel like you're alone. Reach out if you have to, and it doesn't have to be a therapist. It can just be someone you trust, somebody that you feel you're able to open up to and talk to. Just do what you can to look after yourself and get through this time. Oh, she looks sleepy.
Yeah, she just had a little bit of a nap. Say hi, everybody.
Oh, wow. She's got a lot more hair than she had last week, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, it's coming in like wildfire. All right,
Yeah.
let's get into some community calendar.
Yeah, you can do
Um,
that. I was waiting for you.
I
Here
can
we
get
go.
this little one fed and changed.
I like how you looked at a button. Like, yeah, changed.
All right, everybody, take a look at the screen now. We'll go over some community calendar. Catalyst tonight. Follow our good buddy at Jim in Chicagoland. Every Wednesday night, he does a program called Catalyst. It's very mental health oriented, and it's a lot of fun. I actually
Mhm.
fell asleep last week, but I had to be at work early, so I hope I'm excused. My absence was excused. But yeah, check out Catalyst with Jim in Chicagoland. Our buddy and moderator, A Ray of Sunshine, here in chat today. Check him out over on YouTube. Lots of good videos going up, focusing on positive stories and vibes from around the globe. So give
Mhm.
him a follow and check out his YouTube channel.
There's a typo in there. It should be click. You should change that. And eventually, in about 5 months, you probably would have done.
Oh yeah, I would have never noticed it. Gemma, my co-host, she does her thing over on her channel. Also
Mhm.
has a YouTube channel as well. And you can access all of her content at bio.link/JemmyH83. The Beardo and Weirdo Show back again, doing their cooking trivia games with great friends. Keep an eye out for them here on Twitch every Thursday night around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And finally, for all things bunny, check out our good friend Ella the Bunny Mom. She streams late night here on Twitch, and
Oh,
can help you love her bunny rabbits. So go over to her website, mybunnyvalentine.com. Use the promo code FireDude15 for 15% off your purchases. And you too can make that smile appear on somebody's face when they get their bunnies. There's all kinds of electronics. There's apparel. There's stickers and all kinds of goodies there. So hop over there for Christmas season and get you some bunny gear. All right, guys, I'm gonna bounce out of here because I got to get this one fed and changed. And Gemma, anything else
Yeah.
to add?
Yeah, just really quickly. Again, I know I mentioned Melanie at the start, but this week and certainly maybe going forward, there's a bunch of us that are going to be doing poetry because Melanie was very keen on doing poetry. It used to be at 9 o'clock UK time, which was 4 o'clock Eastern time. So there's going to be a few of those. I know Jay did one today. Then I'm doing one tomorrow, and then there's going to be I think Derby on Friday.
Oh, good.
But
That's pretty cool.
yeah, just take a look out. So we just keeping Melanie's poetry going, letting her know
That's really
that we're there.
awesome. I'm glad to hear
So
that.
check it out. Cool.
All right. Thank you, Gemma. And
Mhm.
keep us up to date on all the happenings. If you want to
Will
message
do.
Gemma privately for any updates, so we're not putting Melanie's life out there on blast. I'm sure Gemma
Yeah.
wouldn't mind you reaching out to her
Mhm.
in DM form.
Yeah.
What's the best place to get you on a DM?
Wherever, Twitter, Discord.
Okay.
I've reactivated Twitter DMs, but if you use
Yeah, just the
my
good old
bio
fashioned.
link, all my stuff's on there anyway.
Yep. All right, guys. That's gonna do it for us this week.
Mhm.
We, we might be back next week. We might have a week off. I don't know how I'm going to be feeling. I forgot to mention it at the beginning of the episode, but I go under the knife Monday to get this back pain
Right.
fixed. So it's a very outpatient thing. I'll be walking out of the hospital that day, um, but I don't know how I'm going to feel about sitting in a chair. So keep an eye on the Discord. We'll let you know if there's a stream or not. If not, we'll make
Mhm.
it up to you the following week. But uh, thank you very much for joining us, and we're going to sign off now. Bye now.
Yeah. Bye.